Amanda Martin, CC1 High School NHS Vice President.
And I'm Jordan Reyes, Eagle Pass High School NHS Secretary.
With graduation around the corner, EPISD thought it would be best for us to go over a few ground rules and tips for the upcoming voluntary graduation ceremonies. As this year has definitely had some unprecedented occurrences, graduation is completely voluntary this year. Tip 1. Beginning June 15th, both campuses will begin distributing grad packets to the seniors that have chosen to participate in the commencement ceremonies. Grad packets are necessary this school year due to COVID-19 regulations. Only 4 guests allowed per student and no guest under 10 is allowed entry. The grad packets will include 1 ticket for the graduate that will include their seat number/side and 4 tickets for the guests. Each guest ticket will include whether they will enter on the home or visitor side, the entry gate number, and the section letter they will sit in. A map will be provided in the grad packet to see the layout of the gate numbers and section letters. The final part of the grad packet is the 5 questionnaires. The questionnaires are to see if any students or guests have symptoms or are experiencing any illness. They are to be turned in upon entry into the stadium by the graduate and guests.
If you answer yes to any of the questions on the COVID questionnaire, you will not be allowed entry into the graduation. Please answer all questions honestly, as safety is of the utmost importance for all EPISD staff, graduates, and guests.
Tip number 2. EPISD gates will open at 7 p.m. and the ceremony will begin promptly at 8:45 p.m. With close to 500 seniors graduating from both high schools, traffic can be overwhelming.
So please make plans to attend early. Also, the side entrance on Loop 480 to the SAC will not be open to the public. We are requesting that all cars and guests please enter through the front entrance on 277 in front of the arena. This year, each graduate and their guests must ride together in one vehicle. There should be no more than 5 people to a car. This means 4 guests and 1 graduate. Tickets will be checked thoroughly, and anyone without one and traveling with more than 5 to a car will be removed from the premises. Finally, when parking, please leave an open parking space between you and the other vehicles.
Tip 3. Dress code. All students participating in the graduation ceremonies must be compliant with the student dress code policy. Also, as per CDC recommendations, it is mandatory to wear a mask. Graduates and guests must wear a mask before entering into the stadium. Male graduates must be freshly shaven and no piercings. Any student not in compliance will not be allowed to participate. This includes no markings, messages, or labels on the cap and gown. And finally, sorry ladies, but high heels are absolutely not allowed on the field. Girls may wear flat-footed shoes.
Tip number 4. Students will be allowed to walk through a designated sidewalk on the home and visitor side. They will be entering through a social distance line with their cap and gown draped over their left arm. They'll be asked to walk through a metal detector to be checked for prohibited items. Once cleared, they'll be giving a name card and report to their previously assigned seats. There will also be a water station, and students are encouraged to grab a water for it will be hot while waiting for the ceremony. Students are not required to be in full cap and gown until 8 p.m. due to comfort and health purposes. Students are to behave appropriately and respectfully towards the people there to honor them. If behavior becomes an issue, the student will be dismissed from the ceremony and will have to pick up their diploma the following week at their home campus.
Tip number 5. Certain items are absolutely not allowed on the field. Backpacks, purses, bags, or sacks are not to be brought in by the graduate. No foreign objects like beach balls, balloons, air horns, fireworks, etc. are allowed on the field. If you are caught with a controlled substance or under the influence, you will be dismissed. Also for the guests, no ice chests are allowed in the facility whatsoever. Although bringing your own water is highly encouraged, ice chests will not be permitted.
Tip number 6. Safety for the students is a priority for the ceremony. In addition to the COVID-19 symptom questionnaire prior to admittance to the Student Activity Center, social distancing will be highly enforced from entering the facility to the ceremony and exiting the SAC. There will be 2 ambulances on the opposite sides of the field in case of emergency. Also, the mask will only be allowed to be removed when the student is sitting in their assigned seat. It is to be put back on as soon as the students rise to get in line for the diploma presentation. The line onto the stage will be social distance as well. Upon walking up the ramp to the stage, you will hand your name card to the designated staff member and only walk on stage when you hear your name. You will then walk to the designated spot on the stage for your picture with your diploma. You may remove your mask for the picture, but it must be re-adhered when exiting the stage. Please promptly walk back to your seat following the photo.
Tip number 7. The following information is for the guests. All guests will be asked to follow the same social distancing rules as the graduates. They must maintain their 6-foot distance when entering into their designated section and must keep their masks on until they are safely seated away from other guests. The 4 guests must sit together as a group and may not move or mix to another area. Each spot in the stadium is accounted for.
Tip number 8. We are doing our best to ensure a safe graduation, and doing so we ask for cooperation for exiting the facility. The guests will be asked to re-adhere their mask and then will be released by sections at the end of the ceremony. They will be asked to exit the same way they entered, through their assigned gates and ramps. Guests will not be allowed to wait for the graduate in the stands or on the sidewalks. Once guests exit their assigned seats, they will be asked to report to their vehicles and wait for the graduate there. Police officers will be on site to help with social distancing guidelines. Graduates will exit the same way they entered as well.
Also, this year, due to safety regulations, there will be absolutely no throwing of the cap at the end of the graduation ceremony.
Tip number 9. The last piece of information is in case of inclement of weather. If there is rain on graduation day, Eagle Pass High School ceremony will be moved to Saturday, June 27th at 10 a.m., and CC1 High School's graduation will be moved to Sunday, June 28th at 10 a.m. So if it is raining on the day of your assigned graduation, please tune into your local radio station or call your campus for further information. If it continues to rain on your rescheduled date, your ceremony will be canceled and you will pick up your diploma the next business day at your respective campus.
Graduation is an important time in all of our lives, and if we follow these tips and procedures, the class of 2020's graduation will be one for the record books.
Following these guidelines will not only ensure a smooth ceremony, but it'll make it safe. On behalf of the class of 2020, I would like to thank Episd for doing all that's possible to create this memory for us.
Thank you, Episd, and go
Go
seniors!
Seniors!